it's recording. Yeah.
Thank you. Welcome. Like I said, today it's going to be a special session, and we have a few special guests joining us today. So I would like to take the guest introduction, please. Let me first call upon Shru. Shru, could you please come on video, on camera, and introduce yourself? How did you come to know about VirtuoMasters Club and Toastmasters in general? Hi, Shru. Could you please come on camera? Okay. Till we wait for Shru to come on camera, I think we have Ankita Agarwal, Toastmaster Ankita, right? Toastmaster Ankita?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us in today's session. It's always a pleasure to have you in our club meeting. We have another guest with us, Devkumar Mitra. Devkumar Mitra, could you please come on camera and introduce yourself? We have some shy guests with us. You don't have to come on camera if you don't want to. Just introduce yourself. Let us hear from you how you came to know about VirtuoMasters and what you expect out of the session. No? Shru, would you like to try? Okay. We will wait for you, and at the end of the session, we will like to come to you for a guest feedback. Okay? We are going to have a table topic session, and I would really encourage you all to take part in it. Yes. Thank
Yes,
you,
good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Mitra. Thank you for joining us today. Can we have your introduction, please?
I am Mr. Mitro. I am quite senior in working in a public sector bank in a senior position. Occasionally, frequently I have to speak in the public, so I want to make my speech more attractive and more delicious, so that it can be polished. And I came to know about your organization from my one friend, Mr. Satyadeep. He is quite senior to your organization, and he got many certificates from your organization. That's like it.
Thank you, Mr. Mitra. You have come to the right place, and you have come through the right person. Distinguished Toastmaster Shotati Basu is really a very senior Toastmaster and a gem who's always ready to help others. And Mr. Mitra, please do take part in the table topic session. It's an impromptu speaking session that we have in Toastmasters. I'm sure you will enjoy yourself. Thank you for joining us today. So we have another guest, Bhairavi. Bhairavi, I know you. Come on to the, switch on your camera and please introduce yourself. Bhairavi?
Hello.
Hi, Bhairavi.
Hello, good afternoon, ma'am.
Please introduce yourself.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Bhairavi Vishwarup from Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh. By profession, I'm a classical Kathak dance teacher, choreographer, and I'm really very passionate to learn English. So I joined different platforms as well, clubs also. So that's it from my side. Yeah.
What Bhairavi is feeling very humble and not sharing with us as she won the contest which Shilpa had organized really recently, right, Bhairavi? A big round of applause to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, we have Shru on. She's got her audio unmuted now. Let's have your introduction, Shru.
Yeah, hi, this is Shruti from Calcutta. And I'm here to support Rupesh Singh.
Thank you so much for coming and supporting Rupesh. He has not been opening his mouth and saying anything. I've been telling Shru.
She's a marathon runner, actually. She's a marathon
wow.
runner, and she's senior to me. So learned a lot of things from her. The thought to let her invite. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Please take part in the table topic session and inspire us with your speech. Shruti, looking forward to hearing from you. Okay, I think that's the guest introduction for today. We are going to have a wonderful session today. It's a little different. The formatting of the session today is a little different, which our Toastmaster of the day will tell you. And we are going to have a very, very important section, education section, that is a workshop on evaluation.
I'm
So
coming to my desktop. Okay, for
Sure.
For the moment, I'm giving a meeting. Okay.
Sure. Thank you so much. So why is evaluation important? Evaluation is important in our life because we always give feedback. We always have something to say when someone does something, right? So this evaluation in Toastmasters teaches us how to give a feedback in a way that the person listening to it is able to accept it and is able to incorporate it. That is what evaluation is. Let me share an incident in my life. I was a very young mother. At the age of 22, my daughter was born, and I was completely unaware of how to discipline a baby at that time. I was of the thought that by the age of 1, she would be perfect. So it was all command with no explanation. 4 years later, my son was born, and he was exactly the opposite. Even if I would give him a slap or I would punish him, he would not listen. Till I understood that this did not work for him. I have to explain to him what he's doing wrong and why he shouldn't be doing it. And I realized when I explained it to him, it really worked. And he never repeated the mistake again. So I started incorporating that to my elder child, to my daughter too, because she had just gone into a shell, just blindly following everything or just rejecting everything. So when I started explaining to her that this is why you shouldn't be doing something and this is how you should be doing it, I realized it really worked wonders for my kids. And that is something it is something that we learned from Toastmasters. And I'm sure it's going to help you not only in your personal relationship, but also when you are at work, in college, everywhere, because you will know how to comment or give feedback on a situation or a person. So that is what we are looking forward to on the evaluation workshop today. To carry the session forward, we have an MC in our club who is someone who Shruti has come to support. And he is someone who is very charming, always ready to help the club. He is an IT professional, a marathon runner, a fitness enthusiast, a career counselor. He loves to write shairis, and we have been blessed to have him in the club because he shares them with us, and we always are awed with it. And he loves storytelling and playing the guitar. So let us welcome onto the virtual stage this fantastic personality, this awesome Toastmaster that we have amongst us, the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Dr. Rupesh Singh. Over to you, Dr. Rupesh.
Let's the applaud going on for President Toastmaster Panna Rasmi Ray. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fellow Toastmasters and would-be Toastmasters, it's my privilege and pleasure to welcome you all to the VirtuoMasters Club on a virtual platform. Very good evening.
Very good evening.
Before I start, let me tell you, we are one of the most balanced Toastmasters Club in our division. Last week only, we discussed about the quality and delicious things about laddus. Because the Ganesh Chaturthi, And now, I don't know how many of you ate a whole bunch of laddus, whole basket of laddus. So we thought, whatever calories you gain, let me give you a tip how to reduce it as well. That's make us a balance. That's the reason we made a good place in our division itself. So without any delay, let me ask you the first question. Who all want to reduce weight or fat to become healthy? You can raise your hand. Almost everyone. But sorry to say, this is the biggest myth in this world. Actually, you need to become healthy to reduce weight and fat. Let me ask a second question. How many of you tried to lose fat or lose weight and wanted to lose fat and wanted to have 4 and 6 pack by doing exercise that could be running, going gym, etc., etc.? No one 6 pack? Or people are smiling that they want, they are shy to say, huh? Yes, I'm telling you, this is the second myth. For losing weight or losing fat, these are the method. Physical exercise, if I say you need not to do, even though you can lose fat or lose weight. Following this method will not help you because these are the methods, not principle. Now, I'm going to ask third and last question before I start. How many of you watch a video or getting fascinated with an advertisement which says lose belly fat in 7 days or 15 days? Few of you. Let me tell you, it is also a biggest myth in this whole world. Lot of agencies, lot of companies are running based on these myths. Do you think if anyone will say, okay, do this, drink this smoothie and fat will get to start reducing from your belly? Do you think any drink will help you to reduce weight from this chin? Just think if somebody will tell you to vacate the bucket of water, but they will tell you to vacate this from the middle part. Is it possible? No, because it is a one single unit. If somebody will tell you from the cylinder, from the middle part, just remove some gas, you can't, because it is a single unit. My dear friend, our body also a single unit. You can't decide from where to reduce fat or weight. That some principle, that physics, science, your body architecture, they will decide. You will get all those answers, 3 questions which I asked. I talked about the principle. You will get to know slowly, but you need to remain in this Toastmaster meeting till last. And at last, I tell you some magic drink which will help you to boost your metabolism, which will help you to reduce fat or weight. So let's go to the meeting. Today's meeting is a bit different. Generally in our Toastmaster meeting, you will have prepared speech session. After that, you'll go to table topic session, then evaluation, and this closer. Today, we'll do it a bit differently. First, we will come to table topic, where you are going to challenge yourself on your impromptu knowledge. It is same like fitness. People will come, people try a lot of things impromptu, but a lot of people are not getting success. You know why? Because they don't have the principal knowledge. Same like table topic. You need to have a lot of knowledge, then only you will be able to speak impromptu. This is the base, this is the principle. Any Toastmaster will tell you. So ladies and gentlemen, without any ado, let me call General Evaluator of the day. When I asked him about his fitness regime, he told me nothing is required till now to get him fit or get him healthy. And he is not even doing anything to getting fit on daily basis. So ladies and gentlemen, anyone who do not want to do anything and enjoy this healthy life, you may touch base with him. My dear friend, he's none other than our banker, Toastmaster Anurag Jain. Let's welcome him with a thunder round of applause to play his role.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I am the General Evaluator for the evening, and my role as a General Evaluator is to evaluate the whole session, right from the beginning when the Sergeant at Arms starts the meeting till the end when the president closes the meeting. Given that it is such a big task, this is something that I will not be able to do all by myself. So I have a tag team or a support team which will help me evaluate the session in a better manner. So first I would like to call upon the timer to explain her role. Toastmaster Panna, can you please come on the podium and explain your role?
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Anurag. Good evening, everyone. Once again, as introduced, I am the timer for today. It is said the time is the most valuable thing that a man can spend. And today, I am here to help you spend it wisely. I will be using my timer card so that you will know when to start or when to end, especially. So the green card will be shown at the minimum time, the yellow card at the mean time, and the red card at the maximum time. For the table topic section, the time limit is 2 to 3 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes. Please remember that you have 30 seconds grace on the upper limit, but no grace period at the lower limit. Okay, you have to speak till the green card is shown for table topic. I will show the green at 1, yellow at 1.5, and red at 2. And I'll continue to show it till the time is over. We do not have a specific evaluator for today, but we have a prepared speech of 5 to 7 minutes. And I will be showing the green at 5, yellow at 6, and red at 7. And there will be 30 seconds grace in both the upper and lower limit. Please keep to the allotted time and use your time wisely, everyone. I'll give my timer report when the general evaluator calls me. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Panna, for explaining the role of a timer in such a graceful manner. Next I have on team is the R counter for the day. Toastmaster Abhijit Bose, can we have you on the podium?
A very good evening to all the fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am the R counter for the day. As the R counter, I will note words and sounds that are used as crutch or fillers by the speakers. During the meeting, I will listen to the crutch words such as and, well, but, so, and you. I will also listen to filler words like and I will note when a speaker repeats a phrase that is not needed and of long or short phrases. I will give my report when called by the general evaluator. Thank you. All the best to all the speakers. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijit, for explaining your role in such a meticulous manner. Next, we have the grammarian for the day. Can we have Toastmaster Shilpa for explaining her role as a grammarian?
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Anurag. So I am the grammarian for today. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. As a grammarian, my first duty is to introduce the word of the day. I will keep the note how many times the word is being used, and I will also note down the good usage of grammar throughout the meeting and those that can be improved upon. So first let me introduce the word of the day. The word of the day is salubrious. Salubrious is a fancy way to describe something that's good for you or is generally favorable to mind or body, but it need not be limited to describing healthy foods or liquids. The synonyms of salubrious is good for you, healthy, and the opposite is uneventful and unhealthy. Example, I hope everyone can see the screen. Example, their salubrious properties supposedly include increasing blood circulation as well as plumping and hydrating the skin. The salubrious mountain, air and water. I will Put this word in the chat also so that you can use it. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Silva, for explaining your role. Just adding on to it, whenever the speaker is using the word of the day, please give a thumbs up or a virtual round of applause to encourage people to use more word of the day. With this, I come to an end to my explanation of the role, and I'll give it back to Toastmaster of the day.
Let's the applaud going on for General Evaluator Anurag Jain and his team for this detailed explanation. So now it's time to move to the next segment of this meeting. Next segment, as we told, we are doing a bit differently. We will jump to table topic. As we're talking about impromptu, so my previous question, how many of you get fascinated with the advertisement like reduce belly fat in 7 and 15 days? This is called spot reduction, right? Immediately you want to reduce something. Even you can go to Google and search the topic spot reduction. Go to the myth part and you will get detailed explanation like how it is not possible. If you are going to agree on spot reduction, that means you are going to ignore the rules of physics. You are ignoring the rules of thermodynamics. Sometime you need to think how to remove the chapters if you will go and believe them. My dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, even though we are talking, this is the one of the best selling product all over the world because they are selling the dream. They are talking about the methods, not the principle. Because we all understand the principle, we will decide own method, not method defined by them. So this is what I am going to do. Today, I am going to talk about the principle. We have shorter time, so I touch upon the higher part and we'll see how detailed session we can do in future. But you will get the roots where if when you will go to internet and find those, you will get better insight to make yourself healthy. So before jumping into table topic, let me talk about the principle which I am repeating from last 7-8 minutes, which is related to your nutrition and diet. If you miss here, you will not able to reduce your fat even a centimeter. Even you are going to gym twice, taking smoothie, taking a healthy drink in the morning or before bed, etc., etc. The thing is, something is called calorie deficit. Even you can go and search in the internet, what is the calorie deficit mean? You need to create an internal environment of fat loss within your body and send message to your body that you need to use internal calories to fulfill the need which our body requires. You can take example of COVID. Whenever you are getting vaccinated, you need 2 doses. Why? When you're taking first dose, it is creating map in your body. And after second dose, it is generating antibiotics. Same way, by creating calorie deficit, you are sending message to your mind and body, boss, I am not available. If you need fat to do your job, I have enough fat which I generated in couple of years. These are my assets. Now I am giving you privilege, eat those assets. Don't ask me something new. So that means what? You are going to control your intake and outtake. First, you need to know how much calorie your body needs to a healthy functioning. How you will get to know? Even you will go by researchers, generally, even you are not doing anything. In a day, you are losing around 1500 calories. That may differ person to person based on your DNA, based on your genetics, but overall average you will take, you are consuming 1500. And if you want to reduce fat or weight, which you earn from couple of years, even you are lazy, you do not want to do exercise, it is possible. Only you need to create calorie deficit in your body. At the start, you can start, say for example, even you are sleeping, your body is going in recovering mode. That means that time body needs energy. Energy will come in body in what shape? In shape of calorie only. I'm not saying you need to stop everything. You eat one day. I'm telling you, you need to do whatever you're doing. Just plan your meal, plan your sleep. Rather than taking three heavy foods in a day, take 5 to 6 food. When you're hungry, your mind is sending message you are hungry because you're used to 12 o'clock, I'll do lunch. Evening 9 o'clock, I'll do dinner. 8 o'clock in the morning, I'll do breakfast. Because that map is created in your body and mind. Might be you are not hungry, but your body is telling you, your mind is telling you, this is 12 o'clock now, it's time to lunch. If you are eating 4 chapatis, take 3.5, and you will not feel any difference. Might be you will feel lighter sometime. This is how you can create calorie deficit, and it will go on stages, not from the one. The biggest myth people are doing, biggest mistake people are doing, because I want to become fit, they will start running, they will do jogging. More than extra you will do, and that will impact something else, which I'll talk later. You may see number of videos in social media that claims which never works because they are working on methods only. At last, if time permit, I'll show you the photograph how I was 85 sometime and how I become 65. At last, I'll show you. So, how you are going to control? You are going to control in 2 steps. That is called macronutrition, MACRO nutrition, and second is MICRO nutrition. What are those? From where these jargons came? Thing is, MACRO nutrition, macronutrition, nothing but is a carbohydrates, proteins, which you need, which comes from your daily food, from your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and lot of junk food, I'll say. From that it comes. A lot of people take control. Okay, I'll not eat rice because my belly is getting bigger. This is the biggest myth you are doing. Because from those things, if you say no, I'll not take milk because XYZ things coming from them. When you are doing this, macronutrients, that is minerals, that is sodium, chloride, iodine, copper, vitamins, that are not coming properly if you stick to one food. Because some market person will come say, you take a smoothie for 10 days, you will reduce 2 kg. Yes, you will reduce, but same time, you will create vitamin deficiency in your body. Because might be it will be apple, some vitamins are coming, but same time you're losing sodium, sometimes using minerals, iodine. You're not taking even salt. Your body weight got reduced, but sometimes you did harm to your body. So don't get fascinated with lucrative ads. Understand the principle. Try to use, rather than people will say, I'm taking healthy diet. Nowadays, I'm taking juices only. Biggest mistake. Take whole food. You might heard the jargon called eat apple a day, keep doctor away. Why it is told? They could have told like drink apple juice a day, keep doctor away. It's not like that. Because why? Know why? One apple might contain 100 calories, right? And same time when you're eating, you're chewing. That time you lose 100 calories as well. So body intake happen, your stomach is full, no profit, no loss, right? 100 calorie burn, 100 calorie ate. But same time your stomach is full. This is how it will help you to reduce food intake and you'll start losing calories. So my dear friend, now I'll give pause to my Gyan session and call the table topic master of the day. And table topic master of today is one of the charming lady in our club who joined recently and leave footprint to us. We all admire her for his confidence. Recently, I've seen the video why people should join, renew their membership in Toastmasters. And really, trust me, I was shocked. Any new Toastmaster joined and is speaking so confidently. When I asked her about her fitness regime, she told to maintain healthy life, she always eat fruits, eat healthy snacks. Earlier she was foodie, but now she maintained all that. My dear friend, she is none other than Toastmaster Rima Das. Let's welcome her with a thunder round of applause.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Dr. Rupesh ji. I request everyone to please turn on your camera and unmute yourself and give a big round of applause to our Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. Tell me something. Have you faced a situation where you have to come up with an instant answer? Or your boss is there, you have to give an instant idea to him. Or with an instant decision. I guess everyone has faced this situation, whether it's at home, office, school, or college. In Toastmasters, we have a very interesting session called Table Topic Session, where I, Toastmaster Rima, your Table Topic Master, will give you a topic to speak. You have to speak on that topic instantly, whatever is going on inside your mind. Table topics actually conducted to help the speakers to develop the ability to originate all their thoughts quickly and to organize it and respond promptly to any questions or topics. It also helps in critical listening, in speech delivery skills, and also on thinking, on the spot thinking. Now, why it is a fun session? Do you all know? Because our lovely guest can also participate in it. So let me quickly tell you some rules. Timer, please note in for table topic session, the speakers will speak for 1 to 2 minutes. At the end of 1 minute, green card will be shown. At the end of 1.5 minutes, yellow card will be shown. And at the end of 2 minutes, red card will be shown. A grace period of 30 seconds will also be given to the speaker. The speaker needs to speak for minimum 1 minute and maximum 2 minutes 30 seconds. To qualify for voting, they need to speak at least for 1 minute. Okay, now guests have a very big advantage. That is, if they do not want to speak on a certain topic, they can change the topic. But they need to speak on the second topic. But my fellow Toastmasters, sorry, there is not any such advantage. You have to speak on the topic which will be given to you. I will encourage everyone to please use the word of the day which our grammarian has given, that is salubrious. Please use the word of the day. So let's get started and please volunteer yourself. For volunteer, please write your name in the chat box. Okay. Already we got one volunteer, Toastmaster Pratiti.
Yeah,
Toastmaster Pratiti.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Hello. Okay. So your topic for today is, if not now, then when? If not now, then when? Toastmaster Pratiti.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. And of course, thank you to dear Table Topic Master for giving me this wonderful topic. You know, I've always been a procrastinator since childhood. I mean, everything that I have done, wo kal karenge, aaj nahi karenge, that wala attitude. I've always been a consistent procrastinator. That's the only consistent thing I've done till my life. So I came to college. I came to college in 2019 and then I started my college. And then afterwards, I thought that maybe this approach should change. Now, how this thing came over, I'm going to narrate the story of that particular incident. You see, I have always been a huge fan of, though I'm a political science student, I've always been a huge fan of the startup ecosystem. Having grown up in India, in Durgapur, where the startup, in a steel city, I didn't see many startups booming over there. But when I came over to Kolkata to visit my maternal grandparents, I saw the startup ecosystem booming. And that's where my interest in venture capital and startup ecosystem grew. I knew that in order to make a career in VC, I needed to start now, not procrastinate. I started working hard, I started studying, and then the procrastination tendency didn't go away in a jiffy. Of course, when I became VP peer of Alap Charitable, then I used to procrastinate. But the thing is that one day my mentor of my internship called me over and had a one-to-one session with me. We used to call it O2O sessions. If not now, Pratiti, when? When do you expect that these things will be done? When do you expect that this is the golden time of your life? If you don't make a judicious use of this time, you're going to waste your entire life into procrastinating and thinking that aaj nahi, kal karenge. Skip that attitude. Just throw that attitude away in the dustbin and focus towards your goal. And that's how I started participating in student groups. And I started stepping towards my career's vision and making my life's vision my life's mission. I inculcated my life's vision and mission into one, and basically created an ecosystem where I could thrive and flourish in spite of adversities. Thank you, and over to you, Madam Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pratiti. Please give a round of applause for Toastmaster Pratiti. I really do agree with her. It's the time which we have and we need to do it right now. I request any guest to please come up and guess. Anyone wants to volunteer? Guest Ankita Agarwal? Guest Ankita Agarwal?
Yes, I'm Devkumar Mitra.
No, guest Ankita Agarwal, do you want to speak?
Okay, I like to observe total activities.
Okay, okay, guest Devkumar Mitra. Okay, Ankita Agarwal, yes, Ankita Agarwal? Yes. Please switch on your mic. Yes. So, you want to go ahead with the topic? Yes. Okay. So, yes, Ankita Agarwal, the topic for you is, which is worse, failing or never trying? Which is worse, failing or never trying? Guest Ankita Agarwal. Okay. Yes. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ankita Agarwal, and today
Some network issues are there.
I think we can go for next guest. Mr. Devkumar can try.
Okay, Toastmaster Devkumar Mitra. Sorry, guest
Yes.
Devkumar Mitra.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm giving you a topic. Please, you tell me.
Okay. Anything you give me. Anything.
Okay.
Tell me. I'll try.
Okay. The topic for you is the greatest wealth is health. The greatest wealth is health. Guest Devkumar Mitra.
Yes. Health is wealth. We know from our childhood, and we should maintain this our health in every respect by taking the foods, lifestyle habits, and all other with medicines and all these things. Otherwise, we keep our health in a good condition. We cannot look forward to do anything. anything we can do, we can't be able to do our job properly. So our primary aim should be to keep our health in uh, a better position. Always we should monitor our parameters of different blood tests and other things in a in a in a uh, in a in a particular interval, like our diabetes, blood pressures, and all these things, so that we don't have any danger, any serious problem frequently. So I think we should keep our health in a we should keep our health in a good position. So that's all.
Thank you, guest Devkumar Mitra. Such a good
Yes.
take on that topic. Okay, let me move on. Any guest who wants to volunteer? Guest Amrita Vij, guest Bhairavi Vishwaroop. Do you want to try? Guest Bhairavi Vishwaroop.
I
You're
can
muted.
try.
Yes. You're muted. Please unmute yourself. Guest Bhairavi.
Yes, ma'am, I will try. This is my first time that
Okay.
I joined this session, but I will try.
Okay. Okay, the topic for you is, do you really think an apple a day will keep the doctor away? Topic again is, do you really think an apple a day will keep the doctor away? Guess Bhairavi.
Okay, got it. First of all, once again, very good evening to one and all present over here, all the Toastmasters, Panna Madam and all. So it's my first time. I hope I would do well. So my topic of the speech is, an apple a day keeps a doctor away. Okay. I don't know, but it's my personal thinking that I don't believe in that. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, because I think we should have healthy food, nutritious food, so that and if I think that if you will have an apple a day and entire day, if you will not have anything, or a very little food if you will have in your diet, for example, in your breakfast, if you will have an apple, and then in your lunch, if you take a very little food like one chapati or a dal or something like that, and in the evening, if you have something, but I don't think so. Along with an apple, you should have a healthy diet also, like a proper diet also, which is necessary for your body nutrition, according to your body weight, according to your physique, whatever nutrition, whatever vitamins and proteins and carbohydrates and the things which completes your diet, that is required. So you should have it every day, like chapati and one bowl of pearls, that dal, and green vegetable, which is highly nutritious and which is full of vitamin, like spinach and all these things. So you should have it along with that. So if you will have proper diet, so it would be very helpful for you, for your body. But along with that, yeah, not only an apple, but if you will have different fruits, like there are seasonal fruits are available in the market, like if you will say in winter season and in rainy season, or in summer season, different fruits are there, bananas and papaya and mangoes and guava, many more things, many more fruits are available in the market. So along with an apple, if you will have that, if you will add it in your daily diet, so it would be more nutritious for you, for your health. And what is required if you are a little kid, then definitely you would require more energy, because kids, they go to school and they sometimes they play outside. Nowadays all the things are going virtually, so they play outside also, so they need more energy, more focus also. So they should have more fruits to be added in their diet. And if I talk about youngsters, so according to your age, along with an apple, you should include more things, proteins, vitamins, and milk products, whatever is required and whatever you can afford it economically, because that's also very important, that what's your economical status that you can afford it. So that also you can add it in your diet, so that you can live a healthy life. And that's it. That's what I want to say. Yeah.
Thank you so much, guest Bhairavi. It was so many things we came to know with the topic. Actually, it never came across my mind, but I will keep forward because it was a question to me also. That does apple really keeps us healthy? Thank you so much. So let's move ahead. Any guest, anyone wants to volunteer?
I think Amrita Vij was ready to speak.
Guest Amrita Vich?
Yes, I'm a Toastmaster from Kolkata.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, Toastmaster Amrita. Topic for you is we are what we repeatedly do. We are what we repeatedly do. Toastmaster Amrita Vich.
We are what we repeatedly do, and we are what we believe in. So before doing something, we should have the belief that this is what we are going to do. And only by preaching is what we develop. That's called discipline. And we reach our targets. So achieving something or targeting something which we do not do in our regular life or which we do not follow, we do not achieve our goals suddenly or out of the blue. That's a practice that we have to incorporate in our life. And we have to preach that continuously to reach our aim. That's it. Thank you. Sorry, there's a disturbance at the background. I'm so sorry for that.
Thank you so much, Amrita, Toastmaster Amrita, for giving us that thing. Okay, let's move ahead. Any more volunteer? Anyone? Avijit Patra, I don't know, he's a Toastmaster guest. Avijit Patra.
I'm a guest. I'm a guest.
Okay. Do you want to try?
Yeah, I want to try.
Okay. The topic for you is pain is temporary, pride is forever. Pain is temporary, pride is forever. Guest Avijit Patra. Guest Avijit Patra, are you there?
You got muted.
Avijit Patra, you're muted. Please unmute yourself. Guest Avijit Patra. Should I wait or move on?
Maybe you can also tell him that he can change his topic once. He joined a little late.
Okay. Yes, Avijit Patra, if you want, you can also change the topic. You have that option.
I think he got some connectivity issue.
So I'm moving on. Anyone else who wants to volunteer?
Just Naveen Jaiswal is coming in. You can try him.
I think so. Does it all DTM?
Yes. DTM Satyajit Basu, sir. Do you want to try? Hello? I guess there's some problem.
Guest Abhijit is back.
Guest Abhijit is back. Yes.
I'm here because there is some network problem. Please give my topic.
Okay, you want to change the topic or you want to say the same topic?
No,
Pain
actually,
is temporary.
no, actually, I didn't
Oh,
listen your topic. So please repeat
okay.
it.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. Pain
Okay.
is temporary, pride is forever.
Okay.
Yes, Abhijit Patra.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Avijit Patra, and I'm the guest here. So yes, it is true that pain is temporary, because when we talk about the pain and the success, okay, most of the people just reiterate about the pain lot of time, that uh, if we want to get success in our life, then I think pain is normal. But it is easy to say, but it is very hard to follow. But suppose if I am trying to do something, or if I trying to achieve something, then lot of hurdle and lot of difficulties will definitely come in my way. But if I don't want to tackle, or if I don't want to remove those pain or the hurdle in my life, then I will not be able to a success person. But it is true that in most of the cases, people don't able to tackle their pain, or don't able to tackle their hurdle properly. So then they just give up their hope. So my opinion is that pain will be there, but if we want success in our life, then we have to move further, and we have to survive the pain, and we have to face the pain. So then we'll be able to success. So there are so many occasions in histories, there are so many occasions in common people life, where they face innumerable of pains. But despite of all those things, they followed their path, they followed their way, now they are quite successful. So I can give thousands of examples like that, but it is true that yes, pain is temporary, but success is permanent. So to get the success, we have to uh, survive the pain, or we have to face the pain. So that's it from my side.
Thank you so much, guest Abhijit Patra. What a take in that topic. I do agree with you. Pain is actually temporary. I have a last topic. Anyone who wants to volunteer? One last topic. Toastmasters Swagata, do you want to try? Anushri Sharma, anyone wants to?
Toastmaster Rima, I will do
Okay.
it.
Toastmaster Anushri Sharma, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Topic for you is everything is funny as long as it happens to somebody else. Everything is funny as long as it happens to somebody else. Toastmaster Anushri Sharma.
Thank you, Table Topic Master, for giving me such a topic which is very close to my heart. Good evening, everyone. Definitely, when if anybody is laughing or we are laughing at someone, it's a time for us to have pleasure. But I think we are on a wrong. Though I did many times in my life also, when somebody slipped, the first thing is not to giving that person to our hand, helping hand, or to supportive hand. We just laugh at that person. Whenever in my childhood, if somebody is not doing the homework in a class, and when the teacher shouts at that person, the kid, we definitely laugh at that person. But the thing is, over the period, I realized laughing at someone, it's very easy, but laughing at your own mistake, it's difficult, but it is better. Because if people is laugh at you better than you laugh at your mistake, in due course of a time, you will learn two things. First of all, to tackle embarrassment. And the second, you will definitely increase empathy towards other, because this is the one thing which we all need. Such conditions, when it occurs in our life, we are not taking in a positive way. So when we are responding for something, we have to think either we are responding or reacting to that thing. So that I learned. And the second thing is, as I told you, empathy. When we are laughing at someone, it's not good. And we realize later, but we don't have that courage to go and say sorry to that person. And it will there in our mind and in our heart forever. So I tried my level best to come out from this gesture and have empathy towards others. Now I started laughing at myself. So I'm a witty person, though your topic is not giving me a chance to share any wittiness from my side. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anushi, for sharing a lovely thought. With this, table topic session comes to an end, and I want to hand the podium back to our Toastmaster of the day, Dr. Rupesh Singh. Thank you.
The applaud going on with this fantastic table topic masters. He conducted so well. I'm not sure it's your first time. So congratulations to you, Rima. Fabulously done. So before jumping to the general evaluation, let me talk about some other part. I know we are going late. I'll try to be as much crisp as possible. Let me talk about the other areas where we are talking about the fitness or healthy regime. Major question is how this fat gets generated in your belly. The answer is law of conversion of energy. Means energy can't be destroyed. Whatever intake you are doing and calories getting generated, this is a law of physics. You can't destroy the energy. The calorie is basically energy. You took more. So what body thought? Okay, let's not destroy it and try to destroy it. Preserve it for future. Like you'll go to Rajasthan and see the camel, they store water and they can sustain themselves for 6 months. Same way body thinks, I don't know, I'm not sure, I'll get this calorie, this energy in future. So let it store it. Because your legs are moving, you can't store energy there. Your hands are moving, you can't store energy there. But the belly part, which is not moving well, so this is the area where they can sustain themselves. So energy is getting stored there. But the thing is, I talk about how you can train your body. Whenever you're doing any training, either crunches, the biggest myth in the world. People will say, you do crunches, you do plank, you will see drastic change in your body. You can't do that. Even you're doing plank or doing crunches, they will tell you, do some warm up of your body. Body is a whole unit. You can't decide which part of fat in your body you will lose. That will get decided by your genetics. That will get decided by your DNA. That will get decided by your body type you have. So that means whatever effort I'm making, that is useless? No. When you are doing crunches or plank, you are strengthening your body. Your body also needs muscles. That is called muscle mass. Earlier days, people used to calculate BMI. Okay, your height is X amount, your weight should be this. This is the old philosophy. Get out of it. Whenever today in the morning you have weighing machine, first you used to weigh how much is my weight. Change your habit. Purchase the inch and tape and see what part of your how much it's getting reduced. You need to become in shape. For losing weight, even person who has sugar, he losing weight without doing anything. Losing weight is not a healthy life. You need to become healthy, automatically things will fall upon. So, thing is, whenever you're doing exercise, even you're doing crunches or plank, first thing you can't destroy the energy. So energy, you need to, what you need to do? You need to mobilize. Energy means why I'm talking about the calorie and fat. You need to mobilize the fat, and after that you need to oxidize the fat. These two things in your hand, but which part of your body will get mobilized and which part of the fat will oxidize, that is not in your hand. That is already decided by your genetics. So whenever you are doing plank, might be fat is getting mobilized from your face and getting oxidized by through leg. So let me tell you, you need to remember, as I told, you can't change the physics, thermodynamics. In today's scenario, It is one of the best selling jargons in the world. When people are saying losing weight, when people are saying losing belly fat or fat, all are, I'll say, these are the synonyms, because these are the jargons getting sold in the market. People get fascinated. You will see the pictures, like in our flyer also, one person is there who's looking after their belly fat. People get fancy. Oh, there is some hope, I might lose something. These are the biggest myth. Don't get fascinated about that. Think about the calorie deficit. Think about kind of food you're eating. I'm saying don't try to skip food. People say I'm in dieting. I'll take one day, one food, one a day. You will lose weight definitely, but same time, micronutrition deficiency will create in your body. Don't do that. This is not going to help. Might be shorter time you will gain, but in longer time you are going to lose. So how to achieve fat mobilization? Patience is the key. When you start your journey, you need to sustain. Might be you started walking or whatever you started regarding deficiency of calorie. You need to maintain for long. Have patience. Then now these are the part you need to hope you noted down how things work, what is the principle. Now I'll move to the next segment, that is general evaluation. So let me call general evaluator who will evaluate table topic and overall project. After that, I'll jump for next session, that is our workshop session. Let me call our general evaluator, Anurag Jain, for his evaluations.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening once again. Before I actually start, I would start with the table topics evaluation, and then I'll take the tag team report, and then I'll evaluate the whole session. So first, as a table topic speaker, we had Toastmaster Pratiti. Now her topic was, if not now, then when? What I really loved about Toastmaster Pratiti's speech is that she gave personal examples of how from her school days till her college days, she has always been a lethargic and a lackadaisical person who always procrastinates. But she said that if there is something motivating, that is the venture capital thing, which it was motivating to her, she moved out from being a procrastinator to someone who has been so enthusiastic about it. What Pratiti could have done is that she could have ended it with this message instead of just saying that we should get out of our comfort zone. Next, we had multiple guests today. So we had 4 guests. Now this credit goes to the table topic master. I'll come to that later on. But we had guest Ankita Agarwal, guest Dev Kumar Mitra, guest Bhairavi Vishwarupa, and guest Avijit Patra. First of all, kudos to each and every one of you for trying to come up on this podium to speak a bit or two, to speak for a minute or two on any given topic. I honestly couldn't, I don't remember the day when I walked into a Toastmasters meeting and was able to speak on the very first day. So kudos to you for doing that. Guest Ankita had a bit of technical glitches, so I couldn't listen to her, of course. Next, we had guest Dev Kumar Mitra, who had the topic greatest wealth is health. Now, he was quite enthusiastic about the whole speech, and he was very enthusiastic to come up on the podium and speak. He had that message in his whole speech that if we are healthy, we want 100 things in life. But if we are sick, then we just want to be healthy. So this was a great job done on your part, guest Dev Kumar. Next, we had guest Bhairavi Vishwarupa. Do you really think an apple a day can keep the doctor away? So she took a bit of a humorous turn in this topic. She emphasized on the word an apple, and she led the whole speech by saying that it is not just the apples, but some more nutrients that gets added to your day-to-day fooding habits that can keep you away from the doctor. Kudos to you for doing that. Next, we had Toastmaster Amrita Vijay. We are what we repeatedly do. This is one of my favorite quotes. So she, in a very short speech, she gave this message that we should believe in what we are doing and that it should be done on a repeated basis. Now, Toastmaster Amrita, there is one thing that we can, where you should improve upon is that even if there is some background disturbances, as a Toastmaster, you should develop this habit of being able to speak even when there is some kind of disturbance going on in a meeting. So this is something where you can work upon. Next, we had guest Avijit Patra. Pain is temporary and pride is forever. What a topic given, and what a beautiful take on the topic. That how you said that we should overcome our hurdle with a positive attitude so that we can succeed in our life. I hope to see you back on the podium again and again. Keep coming, you can do well. Next, we had Toastmaster Anushri. Everything is funny as long as it happens to somebody else. Now, she gave personal stories. She gave the example of how someone uh, in her school didn't do their homework and how that became a funny incident. But then she led on to one realization, a takeaway for each and every one of us, that if you start laughing at your own mistakes, you will make that mistake a bit less embarrassing in front of the audience, and you can also start developing empathy to all. Kudos to you for doing that, Toastmaster Anush. Now, can we have the tag team player? Timer, can we have your report?
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening once again. Okay, other than two table topic speakers, the rest are qualified for voting. Toastmaster Pratiti with 2 minutes 9 seconds. Future Toastmaster Dev Kumar with 1 minute 49 seconds. Future Toastmaster Avijit Patra with 2 minutes 2 seconds. And Toastmaster Anushri with 2 minutes 17 seconds. Unfortunately, Toastmaster Amrita had some issues, so 47 seconds. Guest Ankita had some technical issues, so 35 seconds. And guest Bhairavi, future Toastmaster Bhairavi, please join Toastmasters because we love to hear you speak, but you spoke over the time limit of 3 minutes 28 seconds. That was my timer report. Over to you, General Manager, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Panna. The only addition to whatever you are doing is that if you could share those in an Excel format, or if you can just type it out in the chat box. That is me being pedantic about it, nothing else. Next, can we have the R counter on the podium? Toastmaster Abhijit.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator, and a good evening once again. Here is my report. Coming to the first report, that was for President and Timer Toastmaster Panna. She had one repetition. General Evaluator Toastmaster Anurag used R twice, but twice, so once. Grammarian Toastmaster Shilpa, she used one repetition. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Dr. Rupesh, he had two R's, used well once. Table topic master, Toastmaster Rima, she used R twice, had one repetition. Coming to the table topic speakers, our first speaker, who was our sergeant at arms and table topic speaker, Pratiti, she had one repetition. Coming to our guest, our first guest was guest Dev Kumar. He had multiple R's. He had used multiple times R, thrice and twice, and had multiple repetition. Guest Bhairavi, she had used R multiple times, twice and once, and had two repetitions. Toastmaster Amrita, she had used and once, so once. Next we have guest Avijit. He had used A once, but twice, and so once. And last, Toastmaster Anushri, she had one repetition. So as far it is observed, like there were plenty of repetitions and we need to work on that. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, our counter for the day, Toastmaster Vijit. That was quite a heavy and intense report. You had you must be having some really great listening skills. So a job well done on your part. I do not have any recommendations for you. Next, we have Grammarian Toastmaster Shilpa.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Anurag. Unfortunately, no one used the word of the day even once. That was salubrious. Maybe it was very tough. Good usage of grammar word. Lethargic, was always procrastinate, who always procrastinate. If we are sick, we just want to be healthy. We are what we repeatedly do. The grammars that can be improved upon is even if you are can be used as if you even you are can be used as even if you are. Send message could be used as send the message. To a healthy functioning can be said as for a healthy functioning. Which you earned could be used as which you had earned or which you earned. That is from my side. Over and all, General Evaluator, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shilpa, for such a wonderful report. There's nothing much to add on part of you being a grammarian. The only recommendation is that I think you must have got the whole feedback is that you could have used a word of the day which would have been easier to use. The best part of it was that it was in line with the theme. So you could continue doing that, but you could have used an easier alternative so that people could have used it more. Now, next, coming to the evaluating the whole session, I would start with Sergeant at Arms. So she explained the rules in a very brilliant manner. What she could have done better is that she could have started the recording before she started speaking. And next, I felt that her energy level was a bit low, especially when you are introducing someone. You could create that hype, and as a sergeant at arms, you should be doing that. So you could work a bit on your energy level when you are the sergeant at arms or when you are introducing someone. Next, we come to our president of the club. So the president of our club, she opened the meeting with a gavel or the virtual gavel that we have. She took the guest introductions and she calmly handled all the glitches that were happening while guest introduction as well. What she could improve upon is that she could have acknowledged the presence of some district dignitaries like Toastmaster Sheetal, who is an area director, could have been acknowledged. His presence could have been acknowledged. Nothing more on your part as a president. Next, we come to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rupesh. So, Toastmaster Rupesh started with praising VirtuoMasters Club, something that I really like about him. So, Toastmaster Rupesh is a very great connector. How I'll explain. First, he connected the previous week's theme to the current theme. Next, he connected the present COVID situation with his theme as well. And last, he also connected a great deal with the audience by asking some questions and breaking some of the general myths. So kudos to you on doing that. What I would recommend to Dr. Rupesh is that this is a very content heavy driven theme. So what you could have done is that either you could have used a PPT so that people would have retained more, or you could have just given a shared the whole thing on a much lighter tone so that people could remember and there's a takeaway to it. Because my task of listening to you and evaluating was becoming very heavy and taking those learnings from you. Next, I would come to the table topic master. Now, table topic master explained why table topic is important. She explained the rules and the timings of table topics. The best part was that she was very conducive for guest speaking, and we had 4 guests coming up on the podium. So a great job done, Toastmaster Rima. Now, given that you are already a great table topic master, I would give just one more suggestion is that what you could have done is you could have spoken a line or two after each and every speaker has spoken about that topic. That could have summed it up properly. Nothing more on my part. I think so. That is all the evaluation that I could have done. Thank you, and I'll be giving back the podium to Toastmaster of the day.
Let the applaud continue for dynamic banker Toastmaster Anurag Jain. Fantastically done. Now again, I'll bit message before I jump to our workshop. My dear friend, fitness is a journey. Healthy life is a journey. Remember, things happen over time, not overnight. You need to start your fitness journey, target your goal, and it happens like you started after 2 or 3 weeks, you get annoyed, things are not working because you have marriage in your family, and definitely you will overeat or you will not able to maintain the schedule. Hardly matter. You are going forward. Just remember, you are going on Lonavala tour, and the mid, we are driving by car, good sceneries you seen. What you will do? You're after your destination is Lonavala, but you will get out of the car, enjoy the weather, take the photograph. That means whenever any marriage or any events coming, you are taking pause. That is not destroying anything. Your body remember whatever sacrifice you did. Might be your goal will get delayed by 1 or 2 weeks, hardly matter. Consistency is the key. So before I talk about the last 3-4 points, I'll jump into the next session, that is a workshop session. Now it's a time to call the trainer for the evaluation workshop, where the trainer will be Toastmaster. I'm sorry, Toastmaster, if I'm not able to pronounce your name properly. Even I heard after that I tried practice, but again it's a 1 hour, so that memory might go off. So again, with sorry. Again, I don't know how to promise. If someone can help me to pronounce names, I do not want to speak.
Tomogno. It's Tomogno.
Tomogno, Toastmaster Tomogno. He has been with IBM from last 18 years, a Toastmaster since 2018. He's an ex-president of IBM Blues Voice, district semi-finalist in a speech evaluation contest, enjoy good speeches, humor, and long drives. In this workshop, Toastmaster Simar Ramesh also will be going to participate as a speaker and going to attempt the speech from level 1, project 2, speech for visionary communication, and mentored by DTM Rohan Nag. When I asked about fitness journey from our trainer, he told he loved swimming. But currently he is struggling because of the COVID. He tried running and other cardio activity, but it's not enjoyable. So hope Toastmaster, you heard some of the tips. So till the time, again, you are resuming back to swimming, you can follow this and maintain your body physique or something. So without any delay, let's welcome Toastmaster Tomagno Vomik and Simar Ramesh for this workshop. Let's welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rupesh, Toastmaster of the day. First of all, am I audible and are you able to see me clearly? Okay, great. Thank you. Then I'll probably share my screen. And if you could just give a thumbs up if you're able to see the screen, because I'm sharing it from a different device. So are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we are a country of 1 billion evaluators, right? We evaluate everyone every day. We are evaluating Virat Kohli on when he should declare a certain innings or where he should keep the field placements. We evaluate Joe Biden on his Afghan policy. And we have so many platforms to evaluate. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, every restaurant we go to, they ask for our evaluation. So what's so special? Why do we need a separate workshop for evaluation? And why evaluation in Toastmasters is so very special? I'll try and attempt to answer this very difficult question, and I'll try and take about 15 minutes to do that. Followed by that, there would be a speech by Toastmaster Simar Ramesh, which would be followed by an evaluation from my side on that particular speech. So let us begin. And like Dr. Rupesh had already said, excelling evaluation is not an overnight affair. It is again a journey, just like fitness. So the ABCD of evaluation. Now, since our childhood, the moment we see a person or the moment we encounter any situation, we start our evaluation process. Whether you like it or not, whether you decide to do it or you decide not to do it, it happens because this is a subconscious part of our brain that gets activated. So what happens is throughout the journey of life, we actually encounter different kinds of people, different kinds of circumstances. And the moment we do that, we create certain templates in our brain, right? So this person, okay, who comes from Delhi, who is tall and looks like this, okay, he might be this kind of a personality. The next time we meet another person from Delhi with a similar features, similar looks, we start to think of the previous person subconsciously. And that's how we actually start to frame our evaluation about that person. And very often we actually frame very conclusive evaluations, or so we think, unless much later in the game we are proved wrong. So what we are really talking about evaluation, or what we really think is evaluation, is essentially this what we call as judgment or intuition or gut feel. So these are what we refer to or what we think as evaluation. And this is something which is a subconscious activity. It happens to you the moment you see someone, or if you're not even trying to evaluate that person consciously. Then where do we go? So we have to convert this subconscious activity into a conscious activity where you base your evaluation on what you see and what you hear, not based on your past experiences. This is so much more difficult than it is said, because this is a part of the brain on which you have no control. Let's talk about a few things which I want to say are the essentials of how to convert this judgment or this intuition into a true evaluation. First and foremost point, the moment you see a person, the moment a speaker gets up on stage, the way that he or she is dressed, the person speaks the first few words, you actually try to start forming a first impression. And you start to think what this person is like, what kind of a speech is he or she going to give, and you start the evaluation process. So very first thing, you must try as much as possible to avoid trusting too much on your first impression. Number two, and this is very important, you see this particular phenomena happening every day in your life. You're speaking to someone, you're enthusiastically speaking to someone, and you see on the face of the other person, he has stopped listening to you long back. He is actually thinking about his answer to you. Okay, so what is he going to say? So very important thing about evaluation, if you want to become a good evaluator, is that you have to be genuinely interested in the speaker and his or her speech. That's a very important requirement. Number three, of course, you have to put all your other thoughts behind and you have to concentrate on the speech, because what you're going to evaluate lies in what the speaker is speaking about. So if you're not concentrating on the speech, if you're concentrating already on what you're going to say about the speaker, so that's not a good thing to do. Concentrate. And lastly, you try and delay your evaluation to as late as possible. So you form your opinion about the person, you form your opinion about the speech to as late in the game as possible. Again, this is very difficult to do. We continuously form opinions as we listen to a situation, as we go through a situation, but try doing that. So for me, as a starter, this is the ABCD of what evaluation is. So I would move on to the next slide, which is basically what is the purpose of evaluation in a Toastmasters meeting. So important thing is that evaluation is not at all about you. It is about the speaker. It is about encouraging the speaker to speak more and to speak better. Now, how do we do that? First and foremost point, you have to be empathetic with the speaker. You have to understand what the speaker is really trying to convey. Second, understand the emotion. Now, you would often see in Toastmasters, there are speeches which go somewhat like this. So there's a speech about a certain football match or a certain person getting into a football team, the team losing multiple times, and then finally, after the third attempt, they finally manage to win a certain tournament. Or a similar speech when a person talks about his or her fitness regime. So how many times he or she failed to actually follow a fitness regime, and then finally on the fourth year, certain things happen, and then he finally managed to stick to his fitness regime and actually achieve his fitness goals. So is he talking about football? Is he talking about fitness? No. He's essentially talking about the human emotion of struggle and the human emotion of victory, how sweet a victory is after a long, laborious struggle. So that's what he's talking about. So many times when you have a speaker who is not very proficient, it would be very hard to determine what the emotion behind the speech is. But that's what you need to concentrate on. Third, it is extremely important during your evaluation to use quotes from within the speech, or quotes or quote parts of the speech that you are evaluating. Why is this so important? Because the moment you quote someone's speech, the moment you take bits and pieces from the speech, it gives an impression to that speaker that you are genuinely interested in him or her and his or her speech. And that is when he or she will actually pay a lot of importance, a lot of attention to the evaluation, because we are interested in those people who are interested in us. I'll give you an example. There's a certain thing that many evaluators say in Toastmasters evaluation, that your speech had a lot of humor, or your speech was sprinkled with humor, and then they move on. They don't give specific examples. So I see DTM Judges Basu is over here. So I heard one of his speeches once, and he said he was actually referring to that. I think it was his icebreaker. I'm not too sure whether it was his icebreaker or not. And he was talking about the fact that he got married. So he said that on so-and-so date, me and Paromita, that probably was his wife, we went live. So he was talking about, in the parlance of software engineering, he was saying that that's the date when the program went live. So when I'm saying that your speech had points of humor, if I quote this particular example, he would know that I really intently heard that speech. And he would be interested in what I'm going to say about the rest of the speech. So that's very important. Always use the quotes. You appreciate the speaker. So wherever you have a chance, you please try and appreciate or find out the points of appreciation that you can. And the last one, again, very, very important. Give actionable feedback. Something that the speaker can go back home and look at when he or she is drafting his or her next speech. So we have so many vague feedbacks about restaurants, about hotels, saying that the food took too long to be delivered. Yes, but did you tell them that you actually ordered a French delicacy in a Mughlai restaurant and then they took a long time to deliver it? You did not tell that. So how will the action on it, right? So give actionable feedback. Now, in the interest of time, I would talk about a few things that you need to look at when you see a speaker speaking on stage. There are quite a number of points in it, and you would see that in a particular situation or in a given speech, you won't be able to use all of it. You would be able to use some of it. Okay. So here you go. These are some of the things that you need to look for when you are evaluating a particular speech. First and foremost point, and I know this from hard experience. First of all, you have to understand that the name of the speaker is very important to the speaker. So you have to get the name correct. So when you start a speech, you definitely address the speaker by his name instead of calling him the speaker said so and so. If you say something like Toastmaster Simar or Toastmaster Panna said so and so, it's much more appealing, not just to the speaker, but to the entire audience. Location, so this is an interesting one. When you're evaluating a person in a real, not in a virtual meeting, but in a true meeting, in a face-to-face meeting, it often happens that the speaker, after giving his or her speech, actually takes a seat in a certain location. And if it's a really full auditorium, you might lose the person. So it helps when you are talking to the speaker to look at the speaker from time to time. And for that, it is important to know where that particular person is actually placed in the audience. I once had a very tough experience. I lost the speaker in the audience, and then I was vaguely looking in all directions while talking about, you did this particular thing very well, and the person at whom I was looking was very surprised because he was not the speaker. Third, very important thing, the speech title, because the evaluation starts the moment someone hears a speech title. So you must give particular attention to the speech title, because a lot of what you are going to evaluate is actually connected to what is the title of that particular speech. So know that very well, and if possible, use it in your evaluation. So that goes about the speaker. Then we talk about body language. So there are variations in the world. About 80%, some say 90, some say 95% of all communication is through the body language. I don't know which is right, but what I can say is that body language is indeed an important part of what you're trying to communicate. So here are certain things that I use as my guide. You can use other guides as well. This is just a reference. First and foremost point is eye contact. So there are different people have different ways of doing eye contact. So some people will have eye contacts with one section of the audience for entire section of a speech and then move the eye contact to another section. Or some people will look randomly at different people. Whatever be the eye contact, you have to see that whether that eye contact has got some kind of relevance with the speech that the person is giving. The facial expression, obviously, when you're speaking of something which is very sad, like in one occasion, I was speaking of something related to 9/11, the tragedy of 9/11, and I was having a very straight face, or a borderline happy face, and the evaluator was right in pointing out that you were talking about 9/11 with the happy face, just doesn't go together. So facial expression, hand movements, you're talking about a huge experience, or you're talking about a very small thing. These hand movements are extremely important in conveying what you're trying to say. Stance, how you're standing, whether you're stooping over, whether you're standing upright, what kind of a posture you have. Enacting the situations when you're actually talking about a football match, or when you're talking about an excited conversation, are you enacting it out? And stage choreography, whether you're using the entire part of the stage, are you dedicating different part of the stage to different sections of your speech, how well you're using the stage movement. So those are the chunk of things that I cluster under body language. Vocal variety, it's how you speak rather than what you speak. So voice modulation, of course, every one of you understand voice modulation. The pace, I was really excited at that point in time, and then it struck. So that's called pace. When you're talking about something very exciting, something very interesting, our natural pace of our heart, our body, and even our voice goes up. And when we are talking about something where we are reflective, we are emotional, the pace goes down. So think of that when you're listening to a speech. Pauses, one of the most important and most overlooked phenomena in any speech. When you are doing an evaluation like this, on doing a workshop on this, like on evaluation, it's important that you give time for people to think, right? So those pauses are important, as you could just see. The emotions in the voice, the happiness, the sadness in the voice, and of course the characterization, where you are talking about, like if you're talking about 2 or 3 different people, you use the voice of those different people. The content, of course, that's the most important part of an evaluation. So things that you need to particularly stress on is how effective was the start, how catchy was the start. Did the person connect well with the audience? Was the speech structured in a relevant way? Were there good examples that were given? Humor, I already give you an example of how it's always attractive when the person uses humor through the speech, because humor is one of those elements which just snaps a person out of his sleep and makes that person like awake and hear you speech. Catchphrases. Listen to speeches of great speeches by great Toastmasters speakers, or any speaker for that matter. They would take 1 or 2 catchphrases and use it multiple times in the speech, or sometimes they would use it even once in the speech, but that becomes very popular. Those are like catchphrases, like Martin Luther King's "I have a dream." That became a catchphrase for generations. The ending is very important, because you have to have a gradual ending. It can't be sudden, and then people should really know that is the ending of the speech. And most importantly, while you're giving a speech, you give a speech generally to send across a message that the audience can resonate upon. And that's one thing that is very important for the evaluator to actually study on. So this list is my list. These are the things that I concentrate on when I typically look at a speaker. For all speeches, like all of these points do not apply. Some will apply, some will not apply. But important thing is that last point that I had written. Whenever you give any kind of feedback, it is very important that you take examples out of the speech and tell the speaker that this is an example of a part where you had good structure, or where you had good hand movement, or where you could have done something more. Okay. So I'll come to the second last slide. I'll tell you where we are. So this is one important thing, is that the evaluation that you are giving is also a speech. Your evaluation is also a performance. So you're not just evaluating someone else, but you are yourself giving a speech for your evaluation. So make sure you have a catchy start so that people really listen to you. You enumerate the points clearly. So you say, this was the good point. Number 2, this was the good point. Putting like using your fingers like this can be effective, or in whatever way you want to do, but make sure that you make clear distinction between the different points, 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are certain times when people seem to be little apologetic about giving something as a point of improvement. So they kind of club things together, say something which is an appreciation, and then on the back of it, they also give a point of improvement. Don't do that. Be confident about what you think is an appreciation point and what you think is a point of improvement. And if possible, have clear dedicated sections to say what is an appreciation and what is a point of improvement. 4th point, again, for all the points of improvement, it is extremely important that you say how it could be improved. So for example, someone is saying that, and then on that particular night, I finally woke up and the dream job landed on my lap. So you say that is not something that you could improve it in this particular way. On that particular night, as I woke up, and finally the job of my dreams landed on my lap. You can say, you can enact that this is how you could improve it. Have a good summary that is true for any speech, be it an evaluation or otherwise. And again, have a catchy end, preferably something which puts the speaker on a high, right? So those are some of those 2 slides that we just talked about are some of the tips and tricks about how you give a good evaluation. And this is how you get a good evaluation during a normal session where you're evaluating a speaker in your normal session. But contest season is round the corner, and you will soon learn, for newer folks, you would soon learn that there is a specific speech evaluation contest in which you can participate. Now, what is a speech evaluation contest? In a speech evaluation contest, there is a test speaker who would come in, and there will be multiple evaluators. They would evaluate the test speaker, and then after the test speaker has completed his or her evaluation, his or her speech, you are given 5 minutes to scribble down your evaluation, after which your evaluation sheet is taken away from you. And at your allocated, and you are escorted to a different room. At your allocated time, you come back, you are given back that sheet, and you present your evaluation. And you are judged on how good you have evaluated. So evaluation contest is slightly different, because here it is not just about the speaker, but it is also about winning the contest. So things that you can actually work on over here is the more flair, the more spark that you have in your speech, you have an edge over your competition. Of course, someone is competing, he must be a good evaluator. He or she must be a good evaluator. So look for differentiating points. Don't look for generic points like hand movements and voice modulation and all. Think of something which others would not note of. So give differentiating points. Be very specific, cite examples. Like I mentioned in multiple places, I talked about citing examples. For example, a person had described a particular scenario very beautifully. So you mention that part where you described this entire scene was very interesting. And you mention, and you quote from that particular speech that how he or she had described that particular scene. Here, one very important catch, points of improvement are very important in a evaluation contest, because there are separate marks for the appreciation points and separate marks for points of improvement. So try finding at least 4 to 5 points of improvement in a speech evaluation contest. Again, have a clear summary, true. Study the Judges Ballot. So this is the ballot that the judges use for ensuring that, for marking you, for giving you marks. So make sure what are the judges looking at, so that you can frame your speech evaluation along those points. And finally, watch your watch. I hope I am doing so. Watch your watch means you keep a track of time, because speech evaluation is one contest where a lot of your co-contestants would get disqualified because they would overshoot the time. Okay, so that's some of the things that you can actually look for when you are evaluating in a contest. So, well, in the paucity of time, I'll stop over here, and I would open the floor to take a few questions if you have, and then quickly jump to our test speaker for today, which is Toastmaster Simar Ramesh. But if there are any specific questions, I can take it at this point in time. Any questions related to how you evaluate better, or anything to do with the contests?
Yeah, Rupesh this side.
Hi, Rupesh.
Generally, what problem I faced, sometime I was evaluator, and last moment I got to know the contestant I'm evaluating, he's a very senior Toastmaster, DTM, 5-time DTM, something like that. And it is very difficult to get what recommendation you will give. How to manage those situations. Even I asked this question earlier as well. Try to implement. Got any situation you faced, or you recommend anything on this?
Yes, I did face. Of course, I did face this similar situation. At least during the early part of my Toastmasters journey, I would have sometimes had to evaluate people who were much senior to me. So I learned one thing very, very important is that you are evaluating the speech. You are not evaluating the person, right? So and the speech can be a good speech, and every speech will have some points of improvement. Some speeches will be very good. Some speeches will be not so good. So forget about the person. Try and evaluate the speech. Look for points of improvement. Look for good things and not so good things. When you say that a good speech will not have points of improvement, that probably you can look at it from a different aspects. So look at the underlying emotion that the speech is trying to convey, and see if given to you, how you could have tried to convey that emotion better. So think around those points. And if a speech is genuinely good, one last thing that I definitely want to say, if something is genuinely good and you can't find more than 2 points of improvement, unless you are in a contest, you give only those 2 points of improvements. It's not necessary to actually find out points of improvements just because you have to find it out. But again, coming back to your question, it is about the speech, not about the person giving the speech. And the more senior the person, he or she will be more eager to receive the feedback.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I'll give a few more seconds for anyone to ask any other question.
It looks like you need to move.
Yeah, I think we can move because we are running quite a bit behind time. So I would like to call upon. Yeah.
I have something to ask.
Yeah, sure.
And
Sure, go
I'm
ahead,
just new here. So I just wanted to know how much is posture important for a speaker? How much? Like right now we are doing online, but when you are seeing someone standing in front of you, it definitely impacts how the hand placement should be, how you can the eye contact one-to-one or one-on-one, whatever. So how much do you think that is important, and how can we evaluate someone on those parameters as well? So I would just love to know about it.
Yeah, so think of any speech as a performance. So just like a movie, you cannot really differentiate between where there's a dialogue and where the background music is. It all adds together to form a holistic thing. Similarly, the speech is a performance. So hand movement postures are extremely important. And it is also very important to understand the correlation between what the speaker is speaking at the time when that person is maintaining a certain posture. So for example, like a person is talking about a huge thing and he has a very stiff hand and saying that I went to a particular auditorium and it was a huge auditorium. So that does not go together very well. So it is extremely important. The posture is important, and it is not only important in a face-to-face situation. It is also important in an online meeting. You can do different kinds of things. You can use the stage. You can come closer to the camera. You can move farther back from the camera. You can actually stand up and speak, which I always recommend when you are speaking. And so that's there. And the second thing is always correlated with what the person is speaking. So those are the two things that I would really want to say. Okay, so listen to what the person is saying and what the person is doing at that point in time.
Thank you. That's all.
Thank you. Okay, Then in the interest of time, I would like to call upon the stage our speaker for today, that is Toastmaster Simar Ramesh. She's a very veteran Toastmaster, and I personally have learned a lot from her experience and from the prowess and poise with which she speaks every time she gets on stage. Her speech title today is Self-Love and Leadership. Toastmaster Simar Ramesh, Self-Love and Leadership.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tamagno. She loves me. She loves me not. He loves me. He loves me not. They love me. They love me not. I love me. Maybe not. Fellow Toastmasters and future Toastmasters, a very good evening. We all probably know that love is the most strongest and beautiful of emotion known to man. And it is probably the most contradictory emotion. It is probably the most complicated and misunderstood of all emotions known to man. I'm talking about the emotion of self-love, the love of the self. Now, this concept and idea of self-love is relatively new to me, because not even once have I ever thought that I don't love myself. I've taken it for granted all these years. Well, what exactly does self-love mean? As per the encyclopedias, self-love is the love for oneself or taking regard of one's own happiness. Self-love is also an emotion which we have neglected or which we tend to neglect. And yet, it is a very, very key factor in the way that we have an impact. It has an intense impact on our happiness, on our effectiveness, and even our spiritual growth. Research, ladies and gentlemen, has shown and proved that loving yourself will make us more compassionate towards other human beings. A lesser known fact is that self-love plays a pivotal role in good leadership. You might wonder, if we tend to love ourselves more, how is it going to help in being a leader? Well, I thought the same too, until I came across two South African researchers. Nerisha, I'm sorry, I missed out her name because like Tamogno, it's pretty difficult to pronounce. Nerisha Maharaj and Kurt April, two researchers from South Africa who did extensive evaluation and study on leadership and self-love. They tried their best to understand how self-love tries to affect our heart of the leadership. After reviews from 24 cross-functional leaders, like leadership advisors, life coaches, and other psychologists, they came to the conclusion that self-love is fundamental to leadership and organizations as a whole. Nerisha Maharaj described how self-love impacts our ability to love ourselves, improve ourselves, and the selves of the other people in front of us, improve ourselves as leaders. Now, she focuses on three important aspects of self-love. The first being, what is self-love and how do we feel as if we cannot love ourselves? I mean, sometimes we face the situation like, how do we think about loving ourselves? How do we do it? So she emphasizes that loving ourselves comes with a fact that we find ourselves incapable of appreciating ourselves. We find ourselves incapable of loving ourselves. So what does she suggest? Give yourself a pat on the back once in a while. and never, ever take yourself for granted. Another aspect which she talks about self-love is that it is not narcissist or selfish to love ourselves. We might think that, oh my God, there's so much of suffering around in this world. So why on earth should I think about focusing on my love for myself, rather than I can concentrate my energies on people who really deserve it? But the fact is, according to Maharaj, that only when you learn to love yourself can you even think about being compassionate to other living beings, even animals included. So the impact of self-love, on leadership is a pivotal thing in our lives. Her co-researcher, Kurt April, came to several conclusions that a set of leaders, why do they not perform well as leaders? Like we always complain, oh my God, just look at them. I mean, how can he lead an institute? Now, the reason is because they have been devoid of self-love. And due to this fact, they make very weak decisions. They try and bully their employees. They do not want to innovate. They do not want to do anything new. And all this is because they do not know self-love. Now, these South African researchers pricked my Indian mind. And I began to think, oh my God, I've got all these anomalies myself. So what do I do to develop some good habits? And thanks to World Wide Web, I came across these two very intelligent professors, very hardworking professors on this particular topic in the Boston Medical School. Professors Jeff and Professors Germer. They came up with this entire solution of trying to manage self-love, how to inculcate self-love by a series of meditations. That is probably resembling yoga in our ancient Indian culture. That is to imbibe that self-love, to focus upon self-love. And that is what makes a good leader. Because once you are a leader, you have got no choice but to lead your people. Now, how do you do this? Without loving yourself, you can never understand what your employee, what your fellow colleagues, or anyone else can understand. So it is mandatory to understand this type of imbibing self-love. Hence, I have been following a routine for the past few weeks, in fact, because I am a leader in Toastmasters. So I need to understand what my fellow Toastmasters are all about. I have been doing these meditations, these practices, self-writing practice, to try and love myself. And believe me, I have seen a slight difference, and I'm going to focus on just that. It is never too late to fall in love with yourself, fellow Toastmasters. It is never too late to fall in love with yourself. Over to you, Toastmaster Tamam.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Simar Ramesh, for that, should I say, lovely speech. It's hard to start on an evaluation right after you have heard such a beautiful speech, but that's my challenge today. And since I'm doing a workshop on evaluation, so I should be equipped to do that. So here it goes, and the timer, you could start the clock from right now, and it's going to be 2 to 3 minutes, as you know. I love you. We have practiced, pondered, and prepared on saying these 3 magical words to different people throughout our lives. But what Toastmaster Simar Ramesh showed through her beautiful speech is that we should say it more often while looking at the mirror. This particular speech had many things which we can take home. First of all, it had that real catchy start that I was just talking about in this particular workshop, where she started with things like, he loves me not, she loves me not. And then finally she says, I love me not. That was so much an impactful statement that it would make you snap out of your sleep. The second bit, obviously, throughout the speech, he maintained good audience connect and had great hand movement. There are some places which I really want to quote where she had very beautiful voice modulation. For example, I have taken it for granted. I had taken it for granted. There was a sense of finality about that voice. What is self-love? The question coming out of the voice again. And then she said, impact. That really had an impact behind it. Then she had the touches of humor where she did lose the name of the person, but then she said it's a difficult name to remember, just like Tomogno. Or where she said that South African ideas pricked my Indian mind or Indian wisdom. So those were places where it had subtle humor in it. And then, of course, there were those catchphrases. Never ever take yourself for granted. Give yourself a pat in the back. It's never too late to love yourself. And finally, the message, the impact of self-love. And it's never too late to love yourself. A few things where you could slightly improve upon and work on. So when we were talking about the research material of the South African researchers, maybe some concrete examples of a particular person who was leading an organization or a team, how he had professed this particular philosophy to improve his leadership style. For example, someone is not being convinced about as a leader because he himself had doubts about him, or he himself lacked the love for himself. So that could have helped. The only other point that I can talk about is, again, some pauses at different places could have actually helped. Where you ended the speech and then went to what you are taking back from it, a pause. This is what I gathered from the South African researchers. I have been following the same routine. Or the place where you actually move from the beginning, the introduction part, to actually the details of what self-love really is. A bit of pause could have helped. All in all, a lovely speech, had a great start, beautiful voice modulation, had humor in it. There were some catchphrases and a beautiful message to go with it. Some cons or some things you can really try and improve on is a few more examples to substantiate your point, and some well-timed pauses could make it even more beautiful. And this is definitely a speech for which, Simar, Ramesh, you deserve a pat on your back. Thank you. And that's all for my side. Maybe with that, I would like to hand it back to our Toastmaster of the day to take the proceedings forward.
What a fantastic session, Toastmaster Tamagno. Really, your experience was speaking basically when you were giving this workshop. And this practical example, that was a feather on the cap. Basically, people got to know how the whole theory can be implemented, or you are not talking the air, you are talking based on experience with the practical example. But thanks a lot. Again, give a huge thunder round of applause for Toastmaster Tamagno. Bhaumik. Again, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name properly. And Toastmaster
No, you got it precise this time.
Thank you. So now with that segment, we are reaching to the end of our session. Only few lines that will take 15 seconds. Hope you noted down your fitness journey, how it can be started, healthy journey. Just remember, if you'll start, it will take time. In 4 weeks, you will feel the progress. Sometime when you're starting, when I'm going to complete this, when my six-pack will come, when I'll become fully healthy. Remember, in 4 weeks, you will feel the progress in yourself. In 8 weeks, you will feel the progress. You will see the progress. In 12 weeks, others will see the progress. In the 30 weeks, you will change everything. This is the key point. And anyone has any doubt, please directly ping me. I'll try to answer as much as possible. And now, without any delay, it's time to hand over this podium to our dynamic President Panna Rasmi Ray.
Thank you so much. Let's keep it going for our Toastmaster of the day, Dr. Rupesh. Dear Tamogno Bhomik, What a wonderful workshop it was. Thank you so much for coming here today. And I must say, those who are not there today have really missed an amazing, valuable workshop. We're going to share this recording with all our club members, and I'm sure they are going to give you a tough competition in the evaluation contest. Thank you for sharing all your tips with us. You are a gem indeed. Let's give him a big round of applause. Now we have two guests still with us. Can I take their feedback about how they like the session and what is their opinion, whether they would like to join us or not in the next session? Dev Kumar, Mr. Mr. Could we have your feedback, please?
Yes, I liked your session very much, and trying to concentrate on the points, key points, so that we can improve our speech, how we should improve our speech. It's well done. Everything is well.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mitra. Please do join us. We have our meetings on Saturdays between 4 to 6. And every meeting we try to do something different. So I'm sure you'll have a great fun with us. We have Mukta still with us. Mukta Chaudhary, can we have your feedback, please? You're muted, Mukta. Mukta, you're muted. Mukta, you're muted.
Yeah. Sorry. I did join a bit late, but I was really taken back by Tomogno's, evaluation factors. So it's a learning process for me as well. So I'm really interested in hearing more, and especially, love for, loving back, like love for ourselves that we often ignore. That is what I would like, take from this actually. So, as of now, that much. Thank you everyone, and there's a lot to learn actually now.
Thank you so much, Mukta. Really, the speech was awesome today. Thank you so much for that, Seema. Kumar Mitra and Mukta Chaudhary. What I want to share with both of you is, this is what we do in Toastmasters. What we learn, we give back. Now, Tomogno is a champion. He's a district champion. He is someone who's reached a level, and now he's ready to share his knowledge with others. And this is the beauty of Toastmasters. Whatever we have learned, we all get mentors who guide us, who help us to do better. All of us, me, Tomogno, Seema, Satyadeep, everybody, we all have mentors to guide us to do better. And that is how we keep on improving ourselves day by day. So that is why, and we become a family. All of us, like VirtuoMasters, is one big family. We have gatherings, we have other type of events like gatherings, musical events, quizzes, debates. So please do keep joining us. We'll have fun together. Other results out. Area directors with us. Toastmaster Krish is our area director, who's always there to help us out. Yes, true, Krish. The impromptu evaluation of a speech was too good. This is only a champion evaluator can do. Usually, Dev Kumar and Mukta, after a speech is given, we get a certain time. When we prepare notes, we structure the evaluation speech and then we deliver it. And today, the speaker, Simar Ramesh, delivered the speech, and our champion, our trainer today, Tomogno, immediately gave the feedback. That is the mark of a true champion, really. So, the best table topic speaker, he's not here. That is guest Avijit. Wow, he really spoke very well. He's the best table topic speaker. And for the category 1, that is the main role players, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rupesh. Congratulations, Toastmaster Dr. Rupesh. And for the category 2, it is a grammarian for today, Toastmaster Shilpa Agarwal. Congratulations to all the winners. Thank you for joining us today. And I would like to end the session with a bang. Krishnesh enjoys the game and I'll stop the recording. I can't stop the recording. I'm not the host.